Welcome back, YouTube. Welcome back. It's your boy BLB Talks, and we're here to discuss the trade rumors that's happening between Shai Gilgeous, the Oklahoma City Thunder, Cade Cunningham, and the Detroit Pistons. We're also going to look a little bit into the Ben Simmons rumors and the rejected trade from the Toronto Raptors. But I want to start off with Shai because I think it has bigger implications for the draft that's coming up this Thursday. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, in case you don't know, is a 22-year-old stud in Oklahoma. But he is entering a contract year next year and will require a max contract most likely entering the 2023 NBA season. So what does that mean for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander? Well, it means that he can be traded. It means, especially in a small market like Oklahoma City, they don't have a ton of money to just kind of throw around all willy-nilly. And I think that Sam Presti is also trying to get a bunch of young, high-potential draft picks and smush them all together. Kind of like what they did with Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, and James Harden in the 2007, 2008, and 2009 NBA drafts. They want to draft back-to-back-to-back studs. And I do believe in the next 3 years, including this year, you have a lot of high-end potential wings, guards, and bigs. So if you're going to do what they want to do as far as tank to get the best talent possible, I do believe that right now is the best time to do it. So the problem with Shai Gilgeous is I think he's too good for the Oklahoma City Thunder, right? It's like a catch-22. You know, it's a double-edged sword. You have yourself a high-potential, highly productive young basketball player, but when he plays, the Thunder typically win, right? If you remember earlier this year before Shai got hurt and went on the mend, those guys were actually fighting for the play-in tournament. They actually were not too far away from where Memphis and Golden State were at the end of the season. So they were on the trajectory to get to that point, but then Shai got hurt. And then they started to lose. And then they got into the bottom four, I believe. And I'm sure Sam Presti was trying to have his cake and eat it too, right? Have Shai sit, but then have the ability to possibly move up in the lottery and go get Cade and pair Cade with Shai. But the problem is the lottery doesn't always work the way we intended, right? And for a lot of my people out there that actually play the lottery, like the real lottery, you understand me. You're going to give some money out, but you might not make that thing back. And that's kind of what happened with the Oklahoma City Thunder. They put a lot of hope in their L's to get them the number 1 pick, but they only got the number 6 pick back, you know? So I'm sure they were very disappointed with that. And I think that's why they're trying to trade up and do whatever they can, because I think Cade is their guy. I think that they view Cade having a much higher ceiling than what Shai Gilgeous currently has. So because of that, I also believe that the Oklahoma City Thunder are willing to do whatever it takes to get the number 1 pick, even if that means adding even more assets on top of Shai in the number 6 pick. A lot of people who are on Bleacher Report and Twitter, I see a lot of Oklahoma City fans kind of being in denial about this, saying that the rumors were kind of falsified. I don't know that. They could be right. You guys could be right about that. But I've been hearing that the Oklahoma City Thunder have been willing to move Shai Gilgeous for a long period of time now, right? These rumors aren't just new. They haven't just happened in the last week or so. This has been going on almost after the trade deadline, involving Shai Gilgeous. I think even before the trade deadline, there was rumors about them wanting to trade Shai. So I understand from a fan perspective how you wouldn't want to trade somebody who's so young, so productive, with so much potential. But at the same time, you got to think about it from an organizational standpoint, and the fact that you're in Oklahoma City and that you don't have a lot of money to spend, and that they're also trying to get as many high-end draft picks as possible, and the guy that you have is not allowing the organization to get to those high-end draft picks without just having him sit. You know, and you don't want Shai to just sit all of next year, you know what I'm saying? You got to think about financially. You got to think about the best way to get the draft picks that Sam Presti kind of wants at this point. And I just don't think that Shai Gilgeous fits either one of those plans. He doesn't fit the financial flexibility plan because he's going to demand max money next year, so $30 million per year kind of deal. And then also he doesn't fit the taking the L's side of the plan, the tanking part of the plan. He's too good for that. So to kind of counteract that, I think trading Shai and the number 6 pick, while on the surface seems like a lot, I get it. I think that Cade is much younger, And I think K's ceiling is higher than Shai's. He's 6'8". He's much bigger, much longer wingspan. I think he's a better natural shooter than Shai. And I think that while he's not, I don't think he's as good right now. You can't judge Shai right now to K. You have to think about what would K be in 3 years. And I think K in 3 years is going to be a much better player than Shai Gilgeous is right now. And that's saying a lot. But I think that a lot of scouts, a lot of people who watch K play would contest to that. Like, yeah, this kid's going to be amazing. He's a surefire. It's kind of like when Luka was coming in. And a lot of people had their doubts. You know, he's a bigger guard, but he's slower. Can't really move. And I'm not saying that Cade is going to be Luka, but I would say that they share a lot of similarities in their game, where they're bigger, they're stronger than the guy that's guarding the most times. They can hit that midi, they can hit that three-point shot. When they go to the free throw line, well, Luka's a little iffy on that right now, but Cade is a little bit better at that as far as getting to the free throw line, knocking down free throws. They're both very gifted passers. The games are very similar. While I don't know if K will be a superstar in his second year, I will say that he will at least be an all-star caliber player in his second year. I do believe that much. So if you have that type of guy, and if you're Detroit and you're not sold on him, if I'm Detroit, I would probably look to trade the pick too. If you're not sold on a guy, if you don't think that guy is going to fit what you want, or if you feel like that guy can bring you back more assets than what he's worth, or more value than what he's worth, then do the trade. You know, I do believe if you're Troy Reaver, you've been in the Oklahoma City front office, right? You've been with Oklahoma. You know how they operate. You know how Sam Presti operates. So I think he has a good eye for talent, because Oklahoma is one of the best drafting organizations up there, with like Toronto and San Antonio. Oklahoma is really good at drafting. So if he doesn't see something in Cade that's making him say, yeah, let's go for it, I would trust Troy Weaver if I'm a Detroit Pistons fan, right? And if I can get back Shai in the 6th pick, I would do that. But I understand what Detroit's doing. They're waiting till the draft day, see what the best offer can be. So in that case, I would say they should hold off. But at the end of the day, when you're at that draft night, and if you got a deal that you feel has more value than Cade Cunningham by himself, do the deal for sure. So I do think that the trade rumor is legitimate. I think that for both teams. So I do think that the trade rumors are legitimate. I do think for both teams, the trade, for the fan bases, they wouldn't like it. But from the organizational standpoints, I think they make a lot of sense. But you also got to think about the fans when you're in an organizational standpoint as well. You also have to consider the guys who's paying tickets to watch your games, you know, especially if you're Oklahoma. So, yeah, they have a lot of decision making, but I think that the Thunder are choosing a direction here. They want Cade Cunningham, and you have to respect that. You have to respect the organization that's going after what they want. All right, so the last bit of news that we're going to cover here today, guys, is a reported trade between the 76ers and the Raptors. It seems like the 76ers were trying to fleece the Toronto Raptors yesterday afternoon. They tried to get Kyle Lowry, Fred VanVleet, OG Anunoby, and the number 4 pick for Ben Simmons. Now, on the surface, it's ridiculous, right? It's really ridiculous. There's no way that the Toronto Raptors were going to agree to that trade. And I think Daryl Morey knew that, actually. I think Daryl Morey is trying to play the long game in these trade discussions, and he's really trying to figure out ways to up the value of Ben Simmons in a more artificial way, right? Ben Simmons showed himself to be a huge liability on the offensive end in the playoffs. But even with that being said, Ben Simmons has been a huge liability on offense in the playoffs the last 4 years. You know what I'm saying? So I think that any general manager that wanted Ben Simmons last year is still going to want Ben Simmons. They just know that since he's coming off a terrible playoff performance, that they're going to try to buy low. But I don't think the interest has gone away for Ben Simmons, because he is still the player he was last year when James Harden and him were mentioned as almost a potential swap. You know, they needed a few more pieces like Maxey and Thibault and some picks. But Ben Simmons was the centerpiece of a James Harden possible deal. You know what I'm saying? So if he has that type of value, he as a player has not changed at all, actually. If anything, he's probably risen his value amongst front offices because of his defensive prowess. He didn't have that really last year to the level it was this year. So give credit to Ben Simmons on the fact that he did raise his defensive game. And also give credit to MOrey here because he's not just giving Ben Simmons away. I am a guy who wants to trade Ben, but I'm also a guy who doesn't want to just trade Ben Simmons for C.J. McCollum. That's not, to me, a equal value swap. Because while C.J. does bring the shot creation the Sixers need, he takes away the defense dramatically, and he takes away the playmaking that Ben Simmons also brings. So Ben Simmons, as much as I don't think the guy fits or I want him traded, the guy's still talented, and he still offers the Sixers a lot. You know, if there was a way to get a superstar shot creator on the perimeter and keep Ben Simmons, I still would be a little about it. No lie. I still would probably be a little about it because I don't think he fits with our best player ultimately. But I think that much like when they had Jimmy Butler, right? That team was a championship contender. They just lost to Kawhi Leonard, who was playing out of his mind during that series, right? So I do believe from the Philadelphia Sixers standpoint, I do believe that this trade was just to posture Ben Simmons' value, to kind of put him on a pedestal almost and say, hey guys, this guy, you need everything to get Ben Simmons. Deep down, I don't think that it's going to take that much at the end of the day. But who knows? The free agency market is pretty trash this year, to be honest. A lot of teams are looking to grow, to develop, to try to get into that play-in tournament, and they're looking for improvements to their roster. And I think Ben Simmons fits on a lot of different teams, and that's why he has so many suitors right now, because he does fit on so many different squads. So they're going to have options. I would say don't expect a Ben Simmons trade until maybe after free agency. I would like to see him be involved in maybe for the number 4 pick in this year's draft, or maybe get involved somehow with the Oklahoma City Detroit Pistons trade. Maybe bring Shai Gilgeous back. I think that's an excellent swap. Even if you got to give up like the 25th pick, do it. Because I think Shai fits the timeline of Embiid and Tobias, and he also is young enough that if something happens to Embiid, like he gets hurt, for example, right? Or if Embiid doesn't want to sign after 2023, I think. He has 2 more years left on his deal. So, yeah, in 2023, if he doesn't want to sign, Shai Gilgeous, you can move ahead with him, you know? So, there's a lot of positives if you get Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. So, I wouldn't mind seeing them sneak into that, maybe be a third team in that deal. Maybe Detroit wants Ben Simmons, the 6th pick and the 25th pick. Who knows? Maybe that'll change things for him. But I do believe that MOrey is doing what he's supposed to do. And I think the Toronto Raptors did the right thing by completely ignoring this trade and rejecting it. I think the Raptors were very smart to just kind of be like, nah, guys, nah. So, yeah. I like it, though. There's traction. That means that the Sixers are aggressive. They're making offers as well as getting offers. So I do think, like reports have said, it's inevitable that Ben Simmons will get traded. And I think it's for the best. I think he deserves a fresh start. And I think a team like Toronto, actually, with the development that they have, their development staff, the guys that they've turned into pretty decent players like Terrence Davis and Matt Thomas, even Pascal Siakam, Fred VanVleet, guys who were second-round draft picks, late first-round draft picks, undrafted. They've turned them into legitimate NBA basketball players. Even Norman Powell. Like, if you look at their roster, they're not made of high-end draft picks at all. They have a bunch of guys who were developed into studs in the NBA. So, even OG Anunoby, like their whole team is just low-drafted players who are achieving at a level no one expected. So if they get Ben Simmons, watch out, because they may be able to unlock whatever we weren't able to unlock with Ben Simmons. So yeah, but that's it with my video, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the content. If you did, please hit the like button. I would appreciate it. Please hit that subscriber button as well if you enjoyed the video. I'm making content for you guys, trying to get it out daily. If you guys have any suggestions on what I should react to, or any videos I should look at, or any other news articles or stories out there that you would like to hear me talk about on BLB Talks. Please put that in the comment section below. And that will be it. So you guys take care. Have an amazing day. And I'll check you guys in the next video.